Yes, that heavy metal music only means one thing. It's time for Benny Walchuk. Right now at Saudi Mainline Chrysler, they got 2024 inventory, $2,000 off to $16,000 off. The deals are fantastic up there, worth the drive every time, guaranteed. All right, Benny, we're in your home for this one today, Melville.
Nice entourage, by the way. I like that.
Yeah,
nice entourage.
Good job. Daniel Hope earlier in hour one came by and talked to us, said about 1,000 tickets sold for tonight. He figures with kids and everybody that we get about 1,800 in here.
Yeah, I think it seats just over 1,500. Plus, a lot of people stand around that far corner, which is the beer gardens, of course, the bar area. They actually have a second bar over there set up over there too, so to accommodate. But yeah, it should be around that total. I think first game in Yorkton was just over 2,000, 2,005, and then about 1,700 on Sunday. So these communities support each other. It's a beautiful day out there. I'm sure a lot of people have thought about maybe not coming out with the weather now. They might going to make the trip up. So it should be a great atmosphere here.
Well, because Melville's just down the road.
Yeah.
They don't have to do a fan bus thing. You just kind of load up the station wagon or the truck.
Like probably some 12 or 15 passenger vans, maybe. Imagine make the trip from Yorkton. So
got to be a couple of party buses down there making the drive.
Maybe some limos, or if there's in Yorkton. But yeah, I'm sure that's happening. Even though it's a Tuesday night, so you got a lot of maybe farmers out there that's maybe can take the day off tomorrow.
What's a limo out of Yorkton to Melville? What do you think that would look like?
There's guys that took a limo bus from Yorkton to Kenora.
Yep.
When we were there for Hockey Day in Saskatchewan. And those guys were getting after it. They were a lot of fun. Pedal down. So games 1 and 2 in this series. Could it be 2-0 Melville quite easily?
Yeah, it could be. It could be 1-1 for sure.
Yeah.
Like Friday night was a good outing, and then Millionaires kind of gave up some quick goals and had some chances to make it a game, but just couldn't quite get it Friday. Then Sunday was a wild game. I've been a part of a lot of them. That was a wild one. Millionaires got up to 3-1 lead, tie things up 3-3, or made it 4-2, and then Terriers tie things up, make it 4-4. Then Mill scored with 47 seconds left, and a lot of people went, like a lot of Terrier fans left the building because they thought it was over. And then they had a face-off deep with about 11 seconds left. And just we talk about mistakes in the playoffs, and just a little bit of a mistake defensively out the draw for the Millionaires. And I let Tay Schofer in front, and he tapped home the winner with 4.7 seconds left. So, and then in overtime, it's either side. I'm sure the Millionaire fans don't think it's a penalty, and the Terrier fans think it's a penalty in overtime. But it was a high-sticking penalty, so it's one of those things that have to be called in the extra period. And David Coyle had 2 chances. David had a great second half. He had 32 goals during the regular season. He made no mistake going bar down. And a lot of people are saying, was it offside? But it was onside. It was a good goal, and it was a great. I hear it from both sides.
I'm sure you do.
So I get it both ways, and I have to look at the video and make sure I get my facts right. But it was a great hockey game. Millionaires definitely disappointed. They're 4 seconds away from taking a 1-1 series advantage here and going back home for games 3 and 4, which have been great. But still, they're on home ice, what they've been very good at here this season. And still, I know Doug's saying it's a lot of teams have came back from 2-0 down, and they have a belief in that room still.
What do you think is going to happen different in this game tonight? What do you expect different from the Millionaires going into game?
I think a little bit better defensively. I know Yorkton Terriers and discipline-wise, like they take a lot of penalties. They took a lot of penalties, key penalties in game 2, and they have to stay disciplined, and they just have to be kind of attention to detail a little bit more. And with Doug's been along a long time. He's going to be preaching, and I think they're being much more defensive, which might hinder though offensively. They scored 5 goals on Sunday, which is great for them. So maybe that'll hinder them eventually. But I think it has to be, if the Millionaires are going to win, have to be like a 2-1 game tonight.
Will the last change be a factor?
I think it might, yeah. Millionaires got a decor. They want to match up. I think the top lines are both coaching staffs want to play their top lines against each other, so I don't think that'll be much. But I think it's the defensive core and playing against that top unit with Jaron Denway and David Coyle, the Terriers. So I'm sure Doug's going to want that last change to get the right matchups it is. So I think maybe not as big of a factor, especially with the 2 top lines matching up, but who knows? We'll see what happens.
So this series, 2-0 Yorkton, but really tight. We talked about that last week. The other series that we both talked about and agreed it was going to be tight was Weyburn and Battleford. What's the feedback you're getting on that series as they go back to Battleford?
Yeah, Weyburn. I think Angelo Zoll had maybe an off game in game 2. Justin Merrick, who's had some time in the Western Hockey League, was very good in game 2 for Battleford. And their team, I know a lot of their coach is gone, Braden Klamosko, and a few guys are out, but they still have a lot of championship experience and they know how to win there. So, and they have we talked about Nikita Avashenko, who's very, very good, a Ukrainian that played at the World Juniors, I think Tier 2 tournament. So he's very good, and they just that was a big win for Battleford on the road. So it's they go back home, and it's kind of a hostile. I know you guys have been in Battleford. It's kind of like the old Melville Stadium. They got the bench seating around, and it's got a bowl, and it's kind of a little bit of an older barn. So I think they use that to their advantage. So it's a great atmosphere there, and I think Weyburn needs to win this game. I think game number 3 to have a chance to even things up headed back home, because if Battleford can get game 3 and maybe possibly game 4, you head back to Weyburn, and Weyburn's on their toes. A lot of pressure on this Weyburn team. They're divisional champions. This is kind of their year to do things. So if Battleford can continue to put the pressure on, it might be in trouble. I
accidentally stuck the goalie from Shellbrook in the throat in like Adam hockey and Battleford and got kicked out. That's what I really remember. But that rink seems so big when you're in Adam.
Yes,
like it's like the bold, and they had all the SJ banners, team logos on there. It's very cool. Melford and Kindersley got a little dusty.
It did. Yeah, the Kindersley's got to keep that close, like low scoring. Like their goaltending you look at their stat, goaltending played pretty good, but Melford just has so much firepower, and then especially just like Yorkton, their power play is good. So you're getting back home. I know Kindersley made a lot of. They almost had those bench seating, but they actually have a brand new like seats in there. It's a really nice atmosphere there at the Interpipeline Arena. So I think Kindersley could sneak one out at home. I'm not sure if they're going to win the series, but I think they still can sneak one at home. But the Melford team is very good.
So when we talked earlier, we talked about Flin Flon and Humboldt being a goaltender series. Obviously for Flin Flon it was with the shutout in game 2. Humboldt's got to get some big goaltending tonight if they want to get back in the mix of this.
Yeah, exactly. Daza Mitchell, who's proved that he can do it. He acquired from Weyburn, where they almost beat Humboldt last year in the playoffs. So he's got to be better than he has been in the first 2 games. And Jacob Stritzy, who's one of their leading scorers in the SJHL, he has to kind of get his game going. I know watching that game online on Saturday, his tempers got a little bit more, and he took a 10-minute misconduct. So you can't have him out of the lineup for that long in a game. So those guys got to get going, because it's tough. Braden's came in there as his first year back in Humboldt, but it's not really his roster. He's made some changes as the season goes on, so he's still trying to find a way. But if I'm going to bet against a coach in the SJHL playoffs, it's probably not going to be Braden Klamoska, who's won 3 of the last 4 SJHL Coach of the Year, and he's won a number of SJHL titles. So they're turning back home. That's another older barn there in Humboldt. You're kind of in that bowl, which you're right on top of you at the Elgar Peterson Arena. So I think that's the series that could go 2-2 as well, but just like this one could. So it's one of those things. But they do need good goaltending, and you need Daza Mitchell to steal game.
It's the SJHL Report. Benny Walchuk joining us live here in Melville for Southie Mainline Chrysler, the new king of trucks. I'm going to shift to senior hockey here.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Pretty special, possibly Saturday on the Ochapowace First Nation, as Round Lake has a chance to seal the deal, win the Provincial A banner against Kenaston. I was at the game in Kenaston. Kenaston really good in the first. Could have went either way. But Round Lake is deep. What was Zach Fisher?
Zach Fisher.
First game he's played for them, comes out, and I'm like, oh, that's an interesting place, signing a guy like that hasn't played. Scores like a minute and a half in. And a force. It'll be pretty special, though, if they can hang that banner.
For sure. Yeah. Like I think with Kenaston, they've played a lot of hockey. Like they played league, and it gets to them. I know, talking to the Foam Lake guys, they got to play this weekend for league playoffs, and they're still recovering from Wilkie winning the championship. I was talking to their coach today. He's like, Benny, you better call me tomorrow. This was yesterday. You better call me tomorrow. I'm still kind of recovering.
You've been there.
Yeah, I know that drill.
So like I even talked to Zach Zadarozniak, who I'm going to have on the broadcast. He's a former Terrier, won the RBC Cup back in 2014, and he says, yeah, Betty, we just got nice to have a kind of a week to see our kids and see the wife and get some work stuff done and go. But Ochap, like Round Lake, it's gonna be a great special for that community if they're able to do it on home ice. But it's a team that's come together. They've kind of taken the Indigenous community in Saskatchewan and put everybody behind. But they've been great. They've had great crowds in each of the buildings they play. They've kind of livened up senior hockey even more here this season. So it's great to see. I know a lot of individuals, Caleb Gervais, Jaden Isaac, and so on and so forth on that squad. So it's great to see. But Kenaston's been very good. They've won a lot of provincial championships and got a ton of experience there. So I think it's still going to be a very, very good showing for Kenaston. It's going to be a good game.
Just depends how beat up they'll be after going. When they go like 8 games with Kyle, league and provincials.
Gervais, to your point, looked good.
Yeah.
Their back end, Stanton, NHL.
Keaton Ellerby is pretty steady back there.
Yeah, and keeper.
Yeah, Brady Keeper is unbelievable. Yeah.
And then Bacala and net is really good. Kate, last question before we let you go. Who had the bigger party? Foam Lake or Kenora?
Oh boy, that's a tough one. Kenora had to go from Rocanville to Kenora, so that was not bad. And actually, I'm gonna throw him under the bus here. Actually, our ice maker here in Melville, Carson Dennis, he plays with Kenora.
Oh, yeah.
He had to come back and had to get a ride back from Kenora to do the ice on Sunday morning. So
Good job.
I'm not sure what kind of shape he had to curl in the open bonspiel. But so that's been a party. They're still going to go on, but that's a tough one. Foam Lake. So what I've been told, they had their refreshments and celebrated in Wilkie until about 1:30 in the morning and said, hey, we better get back to Saskatoon because if they would have lost, they would have played the next day in Wilkie. So they had a lot of guys live in Saskatoon and some hotels. So they had to go back to Saskatoon. They got there about 3:00. And then I think yesterday they had another get together in Foam Lake. So,
Nice.
and of course their coach owns the bar in Foam Lake. So,
That's good.
But it's good. Like, I seen some post on Twitter about Redvers winning their first game and that Lynn League title. It's all about senior hockey and family. Like, it's Indigenous community with their family. I know there's been an argument about that, but it's senior hockey's family. Like, these players can't play without their wives and their kids and their work and having support behind them. So it's an entire community. And for Foam Lake winning their first title in 77 years, which is incredible for that community.
That's outstanding.
So much tradition. You got Bernie Federico, you got Dennis Polonage, you got Pat Elenick, a lot of tradition there for NHLers in Foam Lake. And and Kenora as well. Like, Kenora, that just livens up a community. I know there has been talks. I know it's like Grenfell didn't have a team this year, and you talk to some locals in Grenfell, it was so much different. Like, you didn't see people you saw every weekend at the rink, and there has been rumblings that Kenora or Grenfell is going to be back next year. So that's which is going to be great. So it's great for small towns and across Saskatchewan, and just what makes senior hockey special across Saskatchewan is the community spirit and some competitiveness too.
But Foam Lake might have to erect a Brett Pepler statue.
Brett, I'm sure he was the biggest celebrator of those.
Still ticking. Awesome, Benny. All right, well, have a good call. Thanks for joining us live here today in Melville. It is Game 3 of the Millionaires Terriers tonight. We are here live on the SportsCage, 620 CKRM.